Hello rock stars, Matt Vanderbo here. Hey, in previous videos, I have continuously harped on the importance of creating a mountain of music every year if you want to get ahead financially in this production music or sync music game by making cues or songs for television shows. And I will continue harping on that because that is one of the few universal truisms in this business. There is just no shortcut around the need to make tons of music every single year. Now, how much music do you need to make every year to be successful? Well, that all depends on what your goals are. If you are just in this business for the novelty of getting your music on a TV show, then it might not take that much music, really. You could probably do 50 tracks a year and get the success that you want. If your goal is to take your family out to a nice dinner every quarter, then yeah, 50 tracks again, it will probably get you there. If you're looking to take your family on an annual vacation to Disneyland, well, I don't know how much that would cost. Let's just say that's $10,000. I don't know, for a family of 4 or 5. $10,000, does that sound right? You're going to need way more than 50 tracks a year, unless you are willing to put in 5 to 10 years worth of work at a 50 track pace. You're just not going to get that Disneyland vacation. And if your ultimate goal is to quit your day job and turn music production into your full-time living, which is what I do, then it's going to take hundreds of tracks every year. Yes, that is hundreds with an S. Plural, multiple hundreds, baby. How many multiples? Well, at least 2 to start with, but 2, 3, 4, 500 tracks a year is what you are going to need to commit to. Now, I know this is daunting, especially for new composers who have probably never made more than 50 to 100 pieces of music in their entire life. And here I am saying,
oh, you got to make all that in 1 year.
Like, who am I to be dispensing this advice? By the way, for those of you who are just watching this channel for the first time, you may be wondering, as a matter of general principle, like, who the am I? So, hey friends, can I call you friends? Sure. My name is Matt Vanderbo, and I've been in this business for 14 or 15 years, and during that time have somehow managed to accrue somewhere near 30,000 placements of my music on every show that you can possibly think of, and a million that you've never heard of before. At this point, there's been over 1,000 different TV shows my music has been on. My music is played somewhere in the world every hour of every day. And honestly, it's not because my music is any good, it's just that my music is usable. I mean, I am not the best musician in the world. I'm not the best composer in the world. I'm certainly not the best businessman in the world. But I tell you all this to tell you that you don't have to be the best at anything. You just need to be a hard worker. Okay, that's it. Hard work, work ethic. Commit to the work ethic, and you can get to where I am, and you can sit in front of your fireplace and dispense whack-ass advice. So welcome to all you new people. And if you are enjoying these 10-minute diatribe rants, please consider subscribing to this channel, because that's the only way I get any type of kickback from YouTube is by viewership, and that's largely driven by subscriptions. So anyways, subscribe to this channel, would ya? Thanks, people! So there is no other way around the fact that you need to make tons of music every year if you want to turn this into a full-time job. But that commitment to making tons of music every year also comes with 2 fringe benefits, which I'm going to talk about today, as well as one gigantic monetary benefit, which is a huge bonus. So the fringe benefits are simple. The first one is quality. Anytime you do something repeatedly, if you commit to making sure that whatever you are doing is done better than last time, then you will see substantial incremental growth over the course of a year. And this goes true for whether you are trying to become a chef or a cook, or whether you're in the construction field, whether you're a carpet cleaner or a seamstress, or for us, musicians. The more you do something repeatedly, the better your quality is. That is something that is universally true no matter your profession. So music is no different. Every time you do something, you get better, hopefully. And by committing to making hundreds of tracks of music every year, you are going to see very quick growth in terms of your quality. And that increase in quality comes about by training our ears to hear sonics better than we did last time. Ear training is so huge, and there's no shortcut to doing it other than just going through the reps. You got to put in the reps just like you're at the gym. Okay, bicep curl after bicep curl after bicep curl, or make track after track after track after track. Your ears will be better, and as a result, the overall sonic qualities of your music will get tremendously better over the course of a year. That only comes about by the constant action of repeatedly doing a task over and over and over. So this is why making hundreds of tracks every year is much more beneficial than just making 50. Your ears will get better if you only make 50 pieces of music a year, but they will get so much better if you make 200 a year. And the second fringe benefit to committing to a mountain of music every year is that your personal speed and workflow gets faster every time you make a track. Now, in future videos, I'm going to give you some tips and suggestions on what I do to speed up my own workflow. But for now, let's not worry about any of that, because even if you don't employ any type of shortcut, just the fact that you've done something a million times will make you faster. And again, this is true for anything that we do in life. If you commit yourself to doing a mile around a track every single day of the year, and you start off fairly out of shape, then you will find that on day one, that's a pretty slow mile. In fact, you might end up walking most of it. But by month 2, that mile is getting faster. Maybe you're running most of it at this point, maybe a couple walk breaks here and there. But by the end of month 12, you're probably booking it. And even if you're not setting the world on fire in terms of your 1 mile time, you are probably a hell of a lot faster than you were on day 1. And the same is true of music. We are just going to get so much better at doing things through constant repetition that our speed of the production gets faster over time. And that's what we want. So you might start off by spending 5 to 6, maybe 8 to 10 hours in production time on one single piece of music. I know when I first started, that's probably what I was averaging, maybe even longer than that. I know in year 1 for me, I would have to spread productions over the course of 2-3 days, and I kept coming back to things. It's probably not a stretch to say that each track that I made in my early year was 8 to 10 hours worth of production time. And now all these years later, do you know how long it takes me to make a complete cue from 0 to finished? About an hour to an hour and a half. That's it. I start with a blank canvas, and 60 to 90 minutes later, the piece of music is completely done. It's ready to roll out. So from 10 hours to 1 hour, that's the kind of speed increase that we want. And that's really the only way that you're going to get ahead in this world, because it is going to be quite literally impossible to make 200 pieces of music over the course of a year if you're spending 8 to 10 hours on each one. You got to get your workflow sped up. And the best way to do that is just put in the reps and commit yourself to the prospect of making tons of music every year. So as I've said in previous videos, the only 2 things that we can control in this business are the quality of our output and the overall quantity of our output. The rest, like getting placements and that kind of thing, that is so out of our control, we might as well not even fixate on it. But we can concentrate on making better sounding productions with better arrangements and better sonics, and creating more of it every year. And the only way that you're going to get better sounding music and be able to make that music faster is just by doing it over and over and over and over and over and over again. So those are the 2 fringe benefits that come with making tons of music. But as I said, there is also one gigantic financial windfall that can come at you. All of the veterans, the seasoned pros that are watching this channel, I'm sure you can sympathize and chime in and share your own stories on this. But when it comes right down to it, we have no idea which cue that we write is going to be a hit. Or in our world, the term hit doesn't really apply, but we just don't know which of our tracks are going to resonate with editors and music supervisors and turn into these gigantic money churning machines. I really wish that we knew, because if we knew which tracks were going to be the golden gooses, then we would make nothing but golden gooses.
Am I right?
But the fact of the matter is, we have no idea which tracks are going to be the ones that make us a lot of money and which are going to be the duds. That is, supposing that your quality and your genres and all that stuff is of a quality level. I know personally, some of the tracks that I consider to be my best musical output of my career
Have not made me a single penny.
and then conversely, some of the stuff that I just out in 45 minutes has gone on to make a vast sum of money. So sometimes there's just no rhyme or reason to it, and you could make 20 very similar sounding tracks, and a couple of them are just going to go gangbusters and skyrocket your income, and then a handful of them are going to be complete duds. My point is, you don't know which tracks are going to do what once they leave your hands and start to live their life in the music library world. And so you have to play the odds by, again, creating a mountain of music. So have I beaten a dead horse at this point? Does that horse need one more bash against the head with a shovel? I'm sure you get it by now. Here's your joke for the day. What do you call a boomerang that doesn't come back? A stick. See you rock stars later. Toodles.